Thank you, Sasha. Couple of comments. The area, I know that your minister may think differently, but the area of Israel is only 21,000 square kilometers. Number two, don't ponder too heavily on the political meaning of my statement. Secondly, I promise that we will re-invite you, saying seriously, the whole question of what is the ratio of exports, directed natural gas, and where to, and cooperation with other neighbors in terms of the exports, etc. These are very important questions which eventually we will have to deal with it, not only on the level of the institute, but level of a government and other instances. Secondly, being a former diplomat, I'm very sensitive to this profession, so I want to recognize the ambassador of Belgium, the ambassador of Austria, and the ambassador of Cyprus already recognized himself. I saw American embassy representatives, and I see the uniforms of state Germany. So if I miss anyone, I apologize. Polish embassy. Canada. This is really international conference. The next speaker is a very good personal friend and a friend of the State of Israel, Dr. Antonyia Parvanova. She is a medical doctor. The last time she performed as a doctor was last night, if I may reveal this, on the plane bringing her to Israel. For reasons of confidentiality, I cannot reveal who was the patient. But seriously, we hope we don't practice it this afternoon. She wears, Dr. Parvanova wears two hats. One of them, she is a member of the European Parliament from her country, Bulgaria. And she's, as such, she's also a member of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Union for the Mediterranean, which is a sort of a third mechanism created by the European Union and other European countries for their relations with neighbors of Europe and dealing with energy in these two capacities. I basically want to confront you with a question, and I hope that you will be able to answer. Do you see the gas as a bridge to improve the relations between Israel and the EU specifically, but also between other East Europe, Mediterranean countries and the EU? So, please.
Thank you very much, Odette. I appreciate very much your question. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for this conference, because I can anticipate that there will be more and more conferences from this type with all stakeholders, all interested parties, and not only within the Mediterranean and the Union, but also worldwide, given the fact that most of the drilling companies are coming also from another continent. May I answer you with a famous quotation from a Roman from Karl Haschek and his hero, the brave soldier Schweik, who said that the war was going quite well before the headquarters get involved. So in this case, I could say the business was going quite well before the politicians get involved in this case. Of course, given the fact that not only the European Union is sitting the Union for Mediterranean, and we already explored different energy opportunities, but I think, and because EU territory is involved, this will give a strong boost for the EU-Israeli relations, and not only focusing so far on the problems on the Cypriot side and the Israeli Turkey or Israeli Lebanese, and with the best color so far Egypt and Syria relations. In this regard, there is much to do within the Union to prepare for a better diplomatic relations with Israel. I should say that the politicians are not always using their institutional power for developing projects which may significantly contribute to public development and to industrial development as well. And I'm referring to the famous ACCA agreement, which is a trade agreement between Israel and the Union, and it's related to generic medicines. So that's severely blocked, actually, for political reasons, and is used by the European Parliament to a little bit to push or to speed up Israel to deal with some issues, mainly the settlements and 1 and 2 flotilla, which I do not appreciate, and I don't think such a political blackmailing should be involved in these cases. But this is an example what might happen with the natural gas resources in the Eastern Mediterranean. And by saying that, I would like to inform you about some projects which are related or some policies which are related to the Union for Mediterranean and also for the European Union institutions. First, for the Union of Mediterranean. And while saying this, actually, we have to make sure that there is another project in which lots of effort has been involved, and this is the Mediterranean Solar Plan. The Energy Committee of the Union for Mediterranean has prepared a very professional report on this matter. The project has been launched in 2008 in Paris, and there is an involvement of most of the European member states plus the North African countries. And of course, there is a big financial portfolio anticipated to develop this plan. In terms of cost effectiveness, of course, this plan will and should be seen as a competitive one to the development of the Eastern Mediterranean natural gas fields. And it's also a matter of priorities, of course, but also cost effectiveness is an issue, and I highly appreciate the considerations of our pessimist colleague, because he was actually trying to cool down about the dreams for milk and honey, because nowadays it has price, actually. Another issue, it's the competitiveness of the development of this project with other sources. Actually, the European Union has 31 suppliers so far. Only 15 of them are coming from member states. The others are from outside the Union countries. And as a quantity, the opportunity for developing the project in Cyprus will place it among the very small suppliers among these 31. And if the price is very high, it will create problems, of course, of getting into this market. It's a very highly competitive market. Then we have to keep in mind also that it's not only the oil and gas exploration industry that is developing, but it's also the high technology is developing in terms of the energy demanding sources, like the households, the car industry, and the industrial enterprises as well. Then time limits should be also considered. As it was already mentioned, the project in Tamar took 3.5 years since the beginning of the founding of the field till the exploration took place. But in the North Sea, although they are countries which some of them are member states, some of them are into the European Economic Zone, took 19 years, and also giving the fact that these countries in the north are not firing rockets on daily basis on each other. So this is an issue that also needs to be considered. Also technological problems, as the depth of the field and the fact that special equipment needs to be produced. And also it requires this equipment to be ordered in advance and to be produced. This will take a lot of time. Then in Cyprus, so far there is no gas network, neither for public nor for industrial use. This is also an issue because it's not a country that has been relying on this energy source so far. And there are, for political countdown of the countries involved in this region, the opportunities of the Union for Mediterranean could be used because the Energy Committee, out of the 5 committees of the Union, is the only one that is still working and continues working. The others are coming to a tough conflict between the different members, and then mainly exercising the opportunity to attack the representatives of Israel, members of the Knesset. But we have put a very strong rules in the Energy Committee that we develop only projects, we work professionally, and we do not allow political fights. Whoever wants to do so, they can go to the Political Committee of the Union. Because of that, actually, we have produced a report on biomass, we have produced a report on waste disposal management, we have produced a report on the Mediterranean Solar Plan, another report on the water resources, another report on the water crisis in the valley of River Jordan. And so by saying this, I should inform you that there is a major reform going in the Union for Mediterranean, which will actually change a little bit the power within the priorities in the Union, and the Energy Committee will become the leading committee. The main 2 objects that will be worked or elaborated politically, this will be water policy, and the second one will be the energy policy. So the rest of the other 5 committees, which have proven not being very effective, should obey and work under the umbrella of the Energy Committee on these 2 issues, whatever it is they have. This is a good opportunity actually for the members of the Knesset to put forward considerations, political but also economic considerations to be further discussed, and probably this could help to find a good balance between all the parliamentarians which are sitting in the Union for Mediterranean. Now about the Union, following the Deepwater Horizon catastrophe in the Gulf of Mexico in April 2010, the issue came up to the European legislative agenda, and the legislation is currently being discussed. It is in the Parliament. The leading committees are the International Trade, Research and Energy, and an opinion to that is coming from the Envy Committee, in which I'm a member of. And the Parliament, of course, is very keen to put forward issues related to safety standards, licensing, contingency planning, inspections, transparency, obligations for overseas operations, etc., etc. And in the initial proposal of the Commission, there are duties and obligations for the operators, for member states, and for Commission. I'm saying this, and I will briefly inform you what are the obligations that are envisaged, but I'm saying this and I'm putting a special emphasis on this because this will be the bureaucratic and administrative burden in terms of time limits of the Union. So when I told you, and everybody has mentioned here, about the political delay, about the technological delay, about all kinds of geopolitical considerations, etc., and international law, we have to bear in mind that the biggest contribution to it might be actually the administrative and bureaucratic burden. Now, how these requirements will look like. For operators, they have to prepare major hazards reports and notification, They should have a verification by independent bodies. They should have emergency response plans and union offshore safety standards wherever they work overseas, which means that when the member states or the EU companies will work either on the territory of the Union or somewhere in the world, they have to obey the same rules and to prepare the same safety plans, because it has been estimated for the Union that major accidents in EU waters is in the range of 205 and 915 million euro per year. So because of this, the Commission has envisaged quite strong measures for the companies, and the Parliament is even strengthening these measures. For the Member States, it's establishment of competent authorities for supervision of safety, environmental protection, and emergency preparedness, introduction of robust standards for inspections and investigation, external emergency response plan, and information availability and transparency. You can imagine for administration how long time and money it will take to prepare all this paperwork. Then for the Commission is to establish an EU offshore authorities group with representatives from the competent authorities responsible for offshore oil and gas activities in Union member states, and decision already has taken in January 2012. The timeline is that the new installations and operations immediately after the adoption of the new regulation by the Council and the European Parliament should take place, and transpositional period is of maximum 2 years is foreseen for the existing installations. So for those that will be probably planned and built in the territory in the Eastern Mediterranean, they have to obey immediately to this legislation. For the already existing, as Tamar, for example, there will be 2 years if Israel actually wants to cooperate with the Union. I suppose that there will be kind of a requirement to at least to cooperate in this field. The new rules could enter into force in 2014 for existing production installations. For planned production installations, there is a transitional period of 1 year, which means that the rules could apply from 2013 on. For non-production installations, this is also an important issue, because most of the fields that further needs to be explored, like drilling installations, there is also a transition period for 1 year, and so the new rules could apply from 2013. This is significant for Cyprus, but it will affect also the contract between Cyprus and Israel. So by saying that, I would like to again to thank the organizers and to say that from this point now, probably there is a need for more conferences at technical level and administrative level to consider all these requirements, how they should be anticipated, and to avoid a little bit of political battles, because there is a lots of time of preparedness and technical problems that probably will give enough opportunities for the neighboring countries to dispute their inherited issues so far, or probably they will help them to get rid of and to find better opportunities from a business perspective to solve their historically unresolved conflicts. Thank you.